Being inside a vehicle that is hermetically sealed circulates virus inside and potentially puts people at risk.
The president makes a surprise visit to supporters outside Walter Reed. Doctors are saying he's improved, while details on his treatments paint a different picture. We'll have more on how this affects his campaign as the president of the United States battles the coronavirus.
And it's been 1 year since an injury rocked the local high school football community. Tonight, we're going to check in with Izzy Ramirez and see how he hopes to go from the football field to helping others.
And looking at a heated race in Palm Springs as Mayor Pro Tem Christy Holstich hopes for re-election. That would make her the first female mayor of Palm Springs. We speak to all three candidates vying for the District 4 seat.
This is NBC Palm Springs Special Edition.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this NBC Palm Springs special report after the game. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Gina Lamont. We'll get to those top stories in a moment, but first, let's send things over to Brandy Flores.
Sports Desk brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game. It's time. Let's push play.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Brandy Flores, welcoming you inside 360 Sports. We've got a great show planned for you, so let's get started with some football. We're going to get started with the highlights from the game you just watched, the 49ers hosting the Eagles. The 49ers are banged up and without their starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. The Eagles still looking for their first win of the season. Philly would strike first in this one with Carson Wentz faking the handoff and running it in himself for the 11-yard touchdown. The Eagles would convert a 2-point conversion, giving them an 8-0 lead. The 49ers get on the board later in the first as Nick Mullins finds Brandon Ayuk and the rookie wide receiver takes over, carving through Philly defense, avoiding multiple tackles and hurtling over for the explosive touchdown. The Eagles are up 8-7 going into halftime. Now to the second half. The 49ers would score on their first drive out on this 5-yard pass from Mullins to George Kittle, who the Niners are definitely glad to have back. San Francisco is up 14-8. We'll jump ahead to the fourth quarter now. The Eagles driving, facing fourth down, and Carson Wentz finds Travis Fulgham for the 42-yard touchdown. Eagles go up 18-14. And on to the next possession. The 49ers looking to respond, but Nick Mullins will make a big mistake, and that results in a pick six. The Eagles ahead 25-14. The 49ers, after replacing Nick Mullins with C.J. Beathard, score on this short pass from Beathard to Kendrick Bourne. They would go for the two, but fail to convert, so it's 25-20 Eagles. San Francisco would line up for an onside kick with 2 minutes left, but the Eagles recover easily, and they'll leave with the win, 25-20. After a 1-3 start, the LA Chargers are looking to get back into the win column today in Tampa Bay. Justin Herbert still starting at QB for the Bolts, going up against one of the best to ever do it, Tom Brady. We'll start with this 53-yard bomb from Herbert to Tyron Johnson, his only catch of the day. It'll be good for a touchdown and tie the game at 7. At the end of the first half, 3rd and goal for the Bucs. Brady, getting rushed out of the pocket, finds a leaping Mike Evans near the back of the end zone for the touchdown. The Chargers take a 24-14 lead into halftime. We'll jump now to the end of the third quarter. Brady and the Bucs taking the lead on this touchdown pass to second-year receiver Scotty Miller. It's 28-24 Buccaneers. The Chargers will get back on top with another explosive play from Herbert, getting chased on 3rd and 7. He drops a perfect pass to Jalen Guyton in stride for the 72-yard touchdown to give Los Angeles a 31-28 lead. But this is Tom Brady we're talking about, and he wouldn't be outdone. He leads the Bucs down the field again, capping off the drive with this touchdown pass to running back Keyshawn Vaughn, and Tampa is back on top 35-31. The Chargers would get a shot to take the lead with this 2.5 minutes left, but this Justin Herbert pass would be picked off to end their chances. Brady and the Bucs take the win 38-31. The Los Angeles Rams hosting the New York Giants today. The Rams looking to improve to 3-1, while the Giants are looking for their first win of the season. The Rams jump out early, lead in the first quarter on 2nd and goal. Jared Goff dishes it to Gerald Gerald Everett, who runs it to the corner of the end zone for the touchdown, making it 7-0 Rams. After an uneventful first half, the Giants cut the Rams' lead down to just 4 points to close out the half, as a good drive by Daniel Jones leads to a 37-yard field goal, cutting the Rams' lead 10-6. We'll jump ahead to the fourth quarter now. The Rams with the biggest play of the game when Cooper Kupp reels in this catch up the middle and shakes off multiple defenders before taking it to the house for this sensational 55-yard touchdown. That would increase the Rams' lead to 17-9, which is what the final score would be. The Las Vegas Raiders looking to continue their impressive season when they host the undefeated Bills. The Bills would get moving on their first drive, and on 3rd and 1 from the Raiders 26, Josh Allen goes to the end zone, and rookie Gabriel Davis is all alone for the touchdown. It's 7-0 Bills. Early in the second quarter, Bills on the Raiders 11. Allen goes to the air again, and Cole Beasley makes a great grab at the goal line for the TD. Bills up 14-0. With 19 seconds to go in the first half, the Raiders facing 2nd and goal from the Buffalo 3. Derek Carr finds the veteran tight end Jason Witten at the back of the end zone for the score. The Raiders head into halftime down 17-13. Now for the first play of the fourth quarter, Josh Allen on the quarterback sneak straight ahead for the touchdown. Buffalo goes down in front 23-16. The Raiders down 14 with just over a minute and a half left in the game. 4th and 1 inside the Bills' 10-yard line, and Derek Carr finds Nelson Aguilar for the 7-yard touchdown. The Raiders would try an onside kick, but it would not recover, and the Bills take the win 30-23. Well, that's all we have for Right Now highlights. I'm going to be here all night long, so we'll be coming back to me, but for now, stay tuned.
Well, top in our news this evening, President Trump's doctor describes 2 incidents when the president's blood oxygen level dropped, the second time driving a change to his treatment plan. The president is now one of only a handful of patients in the world receiving a unique combination of 3 drugs, including one that is experimental outside a clinical trial. And doctors are still saying the president feels well and could return to the White House soon. Kelly O'Donnell reports.
Tonight, the world's most watched COVID patient made a surprise move. The masked president in the back seat, driven by Secret Service, to wave at supporters gathered outside the hospital. A brief visit he previewed in a new video message.
I'm about to make a little surprise visit.
The president returned to his hospital suite hours after his doctors provided a dose of transparency. The president's doctor acknowledged he had not revealed key information about danger signs in President Trump's condition.
The president has experienced 2 episodes of transient drops in his oxygen saturation.
President Trump's blood oxygen did fall to unsafe levels, and his fever was deemed high, now being given a steroid typically used in serious cases.
We did initiate dexamethasone therapy, and he received his first dose of that yesterday, and our plan is to continue that for the time being.
Mr. Trump's lungs may show evidence of COVID-related effects.
We're tracking all of that. There's some expected findings, but nothing of any major clinical concern.
Despite ongoing treatment, doctors said the president may go home soon.
Our hope is that we can plan for a discharge as early as tomorrow to the White House, where he can continue his treatment course.
Today's medical briefing comes as White House credibility itself is ailing. While doctors had emphasized a rosier outlook, the chief of staff gave a more troubling account of the president Friday.
We were real concerned with that. You know, he had a fever, and his blood oxygen level had dropped rapidly.
Saturday, Dr. Conley repeatedly refused to say the president was given supplemental oxygen.
Thursday, no oxygen, none at this moment. Yeah, and yesterday with the team, while we were all here, he was not on oxygen.
But today, a different story.
I was concerned for possible rapid progression of the illness. I recommended the president we try some supplemental oxygen.
The president himself tries to project an image of recovery, releasing photos and video taken inside Walter Reed.
It's been a very interesting journey. I learned a lot about COVID.
Pressed about his failure to be more forthright, Dr. Conley admitted this.
I was trying to reflect the upbeat attitude that the team, the president, that his course of illness has had. And in doing so, it came off that we were trying to hide something, which wasn't necessarily true.
Kelly O'Donnell reporting. Now, we are learning that a coronavirus super spreader event likely happened at the White House Rose Garden, as more and more people in the president's office are now testing positive for COVID-19, including the president's personal aide. So far, from what we know, at least 8 people who attended the White House festivities honoring Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett have tested positive for coronavirus. There's one moment in particular that's catching the eye of medical experts. Take a look.
When the event finished, when they were all coming up and hugging and shaking hands and saying congratulations, that's where, if I was a betting person, I would be putting my money on of where this occurred.
Also, multiple senators who interacted with the president and his staff last week are also testing positive. And that includes GOP Senators Mike Lee and Tom Tillis, both of whom are on the Senate Judiciary Committee. There's supposed to be a committee hearing on October 12th to move forward with the confirmation process of the Supreme Court nominee Barrett. But that could all be jeopardized by these confirmed COVID-19 cases. When the Supreme Court confirmation process moves to the Senate floor, the senators must vote in person. Democrats are now calling for those hearings to be delayed.
And it's not just senators and advisors testing positive. At least 3 White House journalists have tested positive. There are also concerns positive cases could come from the New Jersey fundraiser the president attended on Thursday, just hours before his first positive test. According to White House sources, the president and staff went ahead with the fundraiser despite knowing the president had been exposed to COVID-19. There were at least 206 attendees there, not to mention the crew working the event.
We spoke with leaders from both local political party headquarters on what they thought about the recent developments of the president's health. Both parties naturally having differing opinions on a lot, but one thing they can all agree on is both believe President Trump won't be changing his view on the virus itself.
You know what, it could happen to anybody, and I feel like the president has been very cautious about where he is and what he's doing.
I wasn't that surprised because he has spurned wearing masks. At the debate, his family were offered masks. They refused. If you look at the video, his wife, his children did not have masks on. It's unfortunate, however.
For many Americans, this diagnosis is a wake-up call.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
Yeah, all eyes are just on one diagnosis, the president's, but the U.S. has hit its highly daily rate of COVID cases in the past 2 months. Now, only 3 states are seeing a decline in numbers tonight. At least 21 states recording a higher number of new COVID-19 cases. Researchers at the University of Washington are now predicting as many as 2,900 deaths a day in December.
The reason we think that's going to happen is the combination of people, taking their foot off the brake and starting to mingle more, being less careful, and then most importantly, seasonality.
Some of the highest rates of new cases are being seen in the Midwest, and California has now passed 16,000 deaths.
Taking a look at those latest numbers from Riverside County and the Coachella Valley. Now remember, the county doesn't report any numbers on the weekend, so these are a look at Friday's numbers. But again, not that bad. We are in double digits on Thursday, 130 on Friday, 39 in the ICU. More than 1,200 deaths, though, countywide. 337 people from the Coachella Valley have died so far, but only 83 new cases, as I mentioned, on Thursday. But again, more than 5 times as many new cases were reported, 446.
Riverside County public health officials are linking grocery stores to the highest number of COVID-19 outbreaks in the county. Data released by the county shows between July and September, 48 outbreaks came from grocery stores alone, affecting customers or the employees. Public health officials spoke to our station about the difficulty of moving into the red tier.
It's a little complicated, but in essence, what happens is if we're able to increase our testing per 100,000, the formula that the state would use for us would make it easier to get to that next level.
We could go the wrong direction in a hurry if people think the disease is finished with us. I say at every chance that I get that this isn't over until there is a vaccine.
Data shows in a 1-week time span, the county confirmed 6 new coronavirus cases per 100,000 people living here.
Well, with all eyes on the president, certainly the presidential race is not far behind, but our local elections will take place in less than a month as well, and we're tracking several city council races, not to mention a dozen props. And tonight, we're going to focus on the 4th District in Palm Springs. Olivia Sandusky live outside City Hall, where she says that race is just now starting to heat up. Olivia.
Yes, it is, Gino. There are 3 candidates in this race. Now, of course, they all have very different backgrounds and very different political campaigns. But tonight, they all wanted to discuss one thing, that was funding for public safety. Supporters of Christy Holstage carry campaign signs through neighborhoods in District 4.
We'll be hanging these on the door.
If re-elected, Mayor Pro Tem Holstage says she wants to build off the council's accomplishments over the past few years.
We obtained $10 million from the state just for the city on homelessness. We've saved Oswett Canyon, an important open space for the city. We've approved affordable housing developments in our city.
Holstage is backed by Congressman Ruiz and the Equality Group, and she says the other candidates have unfairly attacked her stance on public safety.
So unfortunately, there's been false information put out about me and my track record. I have a demonstrated track record on public safety. We reopened a fire station serving my district. We have fully funded police, fire, emergency medical services to pre-recession levels.
Meanwhile, one of her opponents, Mike McCullough, has been endorsed by the Palm Springs Police Officers Association, Palm Springs Fire Department, and the Riverside Sheriff's Association.
We need to have a fully funded police department. Recently, the council voted to spend $3 million on the downtown park that could have helped fill vacant positions in both the Palm Springs Police Department and the Palm Springs Fire Department.
McCullough previously served on the council between 2003 and 2007 and says his career as an accountant has prepared him to handle the city's $75 million deficit.
I think we have duplications of services. We have personnel that have overlapping duties. We're going to have an opportunity to just make a more efficient, a leaner government that focuses on the essentials of government. And I think that there's no one on council right now that has my credentials.
The third contender is District 4's Diane Torres. As a healthcare worker and member of the Hispanic and LGBTQ communities, Torres says she's running as a concerned citizen.
People are, as I learned out on the path, disgruntled with what feels the lack of transparency, the fiscal choices that are being made, the non-inclusion, and a real us and them.
Torres also says if elected, the fire and police departments would have her full support.
How you can really judge a city is how the city takes care of our public safety people. And it's not happening. I think, without a doubt, they are not being given what they need to serve our community, and it's not fair.
And this is a very important election here in Palm Springs, and something important to remember there. If Christy Holstage gets elected for that second term, she will become the mayor of Palm Springs. That title is awarded to the council member with the most service years. And just as a reminder, those ballots will be mailed out to Riverside County residents on October 5th. That's tomorrow. So start looking into those candidates, see who you want to vote for. Reporting live for NBC Palm Springs, I'm Olivia Sandusky.
Deadly wildfires in California have now scorched more than 4 million acres, making it the most land burned in a single year. And we still have 2 more months left of fire season. 31 people have died this fire season. Most of the damage has been since mid-August, when 5 of the 6 largest fires in modern state history erupted. Lightning strikes caused some of the fires. There are still about 2 months remaining in fire season.
Yeah, those beleaguered California firefighters now getting some help from Wisconsin. The Wisconsin National Guard sent 2 teams of Black Hawk helicopters. The teams have been flying over the Creek Fire and the SQF Complex Fire in Central California. Teams from Texas and from as far away as Israel are also helping out. Taking a live look outside our Agua Caliente Casino cam. Things look nice and peaceful and calm there in Rancho Mirage. Let's send things over to NBC Palm Springs meteorologist Jerry Steffen for a look at that AccuWeather forecast. Hey, Jerry.
Well, temperatures haven't changed much over the past week. Again, Sunday, 108 for a high in Palm Springs. Today, we had the same range of temps, and looks like we're going to be up there again on Monday. 105 to 108, the ridge of high pressure bringing us the hot weather over the past couple of days. Still in control of our forecast, although it will begin weakening. Onshore flow will kick in the afternoon, and then morning and evening breezes coming out of the north. Now, as far as dew points, upper 20s, low 30s, and a very dry day again. We'll see upper single digits for the Coachella Valley as far as relative humidity. It'll be a quick warm-up again, triple digits in the valley beginning at 11 o'clock and eventually peaking with those numbers at around 4. Here's a sample of what we can expect Monday. Mostly sunny with these numbers. 94 degrees at Banning, 98 Cabazon, a hot 108 Palm Springs, 107 Indio, 100 degrees at 29 Palms, Joshua Tree in the middle 90s. Comfort Air, 3-day forecast, 108 Monday, lots of sunshine. High clouds move in Tuesday, filtered sunshine 105, and the numbers continue to back off. Wednesday, mostly sunny 102. What about the rest of the week? We'll check that out. Even a chance of rain for California. I'll explain. Full forecast in minutes.
The filing period for homeschool ends October 15th. Parents will need to have submitted the correct paperwork to allow students exemption from public school enrollment. Homeschool applications are at a record high this year because of the pandemic. One local parent says she encourages other families to see if homeschooling is right for them.
Some people are finding out that sitting on a Zoom call for 3-5 hours a day is not working. For us, I knew we wouldn't be able to do that because my son needs flexibility, he needs that flexibility within his day. So it's really important if you're finding with COVID that the distant learning is not working through your public school, that it might be better for you to switch over to homeschool.
Now, Sarah also says her son has plenty of safe social opportunities with other homeschool groups during the year. So that deadline, once again, is October 15th.
As local school districts contemplate when to bring kids back to the classroom, some parents want that time to come now. Some families gathered outside Palm Desert High School to demonstrate against school closures.
As my daughter, working from home on Zoom, it has not been working for her. It hasn't been working for the majority of the children. They're becoming depressed, they're becoming sad, they have anxiety. They're not getting the education that they need.
The parents say they're taking the pandemic into consideration, but they believe as long as school districts are taking extra precautions, that schools can reopen safely.
Restaurants have been one of the hardest hit industries during the pandemic, having to close and reopen multiple times in recent months. One Palm Desert restaurant, in coordination with the city, is gearing up to expand outdoor dining, and it's encouraging others to follow.
What we're trying to do is extend into the street area safely. It'll give us an additional 6 to 8 tables based on social distancing. Hopefully we won't be the last. As this COVID-19 progresses and goes on and on, restaurants are hurting a lot. And even though we're allowed 25% capacity inside, it's just not enough to feed the beast.
Yeah, restaurant owners hope this will increase business overall on El Paseo.
Dickey's Barbecue Pit and Rancho Mirage is accepting donations for field workers and those in need. They're accepting cash and non-perishable foods as part of the food drive. People can simply drop off donations inside their Rancho Mirage location. The next collection will be delivered on October 12th. And we should mention Dickey's there in Rancho Mirage has been doing this since the beginning of the campaign.
It's been a year since Rancho Mirage High School football player Israel Ramirez, better known as Izzy, suffered a life-threatening medical emergency. Our Kitty Alvarado caught up with Izzy and has an update on how he's doing.
Israel Ramirez, better known as Izzy, and number 30 out on the field, was a rising high school football star. Head coach L.D. Matthews of the Rancho Mirage High School Rattlers says he had incredible talent.
He was an outside backer, defensive end, and his ability to rush the passer, the quarterback, was really unbelievable. The sky was the limit.
But Izzy had a rare medical condition, too, and didn't know it. On September 27th, 2019, he knew something was wrong.
Coming out my 6th period lifting class with my teammates, and I had a big migraine. As I got to the back of the school, it started becoming a sharp pain in the right side of my head.
A teammate and his dad took him to a nearby fire station.
And I blacked out, and all I remember is waking up in the hospital.
His diagnosis, brain arteriovenous malformation, a tangle of blood vessels in the brain. Less than 1% of people have them, and only half of them ever have symptoms. His ruptured. Dr. Anthony Alastra, a neurosurgeon at Desert Regional Medical Center, treated Izzy.
For someone who's had a ruptured brain AVM, the morbidity and the mortality is quite high.
Word that Izzy was fighting for his life spread quickly in the Coachella Valley. Soon the rallying cry 30 strong was everywhere.
We are all 30 strong.
Even rival teams sent love his way. The next game was played in his honor, and Izzy's brother James Stallworth took the field wearing Izzy's jersey. Coach Matthews says Izzy's story brought the community together.
He was number 2 in the nation at the time, leading in sacks, and projected to get recruited and go to college, to all of a sudden fighting for your life. His fight was everybody's fight.
We visited him after one of many surgeries. Izzy was still fighting.
I can't believe I made it through.
Dr. Alastra was blown away too.
There's miracles for sure. That we were able to remove the AVM with essentially no significant deficits is just a testament to his ability to get through this.
Izzy now looks back at what doctors told his family and friends could happen. It changed as he defied the odds.
I wasn't going to make it out my first surgery. I wasn't going to be able to walk again. I wasn't going to be able to eat again on my own. I wasn't going to be able to talk on my own.
I'm feeling great.
I learned how to eat, walk, and talk again in 3 weeks.
He says doctors didn't give up on him.
Certainly wouldn't be here without them.
Izzy says his life has never been easy.
My father left my life when I was 11 years old.
And the challenges seem to keep coming. Donations raised in a GoFundMe account got returned. He's struggling with online school during a pandemic. And on September 29th of this year, Izzy lost his brother James, one of his biggest supporters. But he says his coaches and teammates have stuck with him.
I love you guys all. You guys are all my family.
He misses football a lot. He's not sure if he'll ever be able to play, but his coaches are giving him a special role on the team.
It felt great because at least I'm going to still be on that field somewhere with my teammates and helping them and teaching them and showing them how to be even better than me.
There's no doubt in my mind he's a fighter. Anything that he puts his mind to, he'll be able to accomplish.
Izzy admits there were some dark times when he questioned God.
I questioned him at first, and I questioned why did he do this to me.
Now, he calls his journey beautiful.
What's beautiful is that I see a new meaning to life. I see that I should help people and share my story with people so they have hope in their lives and realize that they could do anything they want in this world. And no matter what comes their way, they could do it.
Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
Izzy says he's now thinking of a different field, the medical field. He says he wants to be part of a team that saves lives.
All right. Coming up next, one person is dead after a small plane crashes in Southern California. What we know.
And a 9-year-old is dead tonight after a drive-by shooting in Sacramento. 3 others are injured. We have the latest from our state capitol after the break.
As he was coming towards me, I said, back off right away.
And you don't want to miss this story. A 67-year-old woman came between an intruder and her elderly neighbors, and how she fended off the attack is coming up.
Officers shoot and kill a suspect in San Diego County after a car chase. The Highway Patrol says the chase began when Santa Ana police tried to pull a car over about midnight. Now, authorities have not released any more information than that. All we know is officers eventually opened fire on that suspect.
A 9-year-old girl is dead and 3 others are injured after what police are calling a drive-by shooting that could be gang-related. It happened in Sacramento. A family was gathered at a park just after 1 in the afternoon Saturday when the shooting happened. One of the people injured in the shooting is a 6-year-old.
One person is dead after a small plane crash in South Los Angeles. Firefighters and paramedics were dispatched to an airport in Hawthorne about 9:30 this morning. The ultralight aircraft had crashed in a flood channel. According to the FAA, the pilot was the only person on board, and it's still unclear if the plane was taking off or landing. Of course, this crash is under investigation. Harvey Weinstein has been charged with the rape of 2 more women, this time in LA County. Weinstein's already serving a 23-year prison sentence in New York for convictions for rape and sexual assault against 2 women. The new charges mean Weinstein has now been charged with 11 felony counts in LA County involving 5 women.
She's 67 years old and stands less than 5 feet tall, but she is no weakling. California woman was confronted by an intruder, and she not only protected herself, but her neighbors. Amy Johnson reports.
As he was coming towards me, I said, back off right away.
67-year-old Lorenza Marujo is tough. She's had 26 years of martial arts training, so when she told the man who broke into her senior apartment complex to back off, he listened. But unfortunately, he made his way to her friend and neighbor's apartment, 81-year-old Elizabeth McCrae.
And he grabbed me and he shook me and I went down on the floor.
Marujo heard the screams and went to help.
I squeezed myself between her and him. I put Mom out of the side and I jumped on him and I was punching him and everything. And I had the cane against his throat.
She says she didn't want to kill him, so she held him down with her hands.
He lifted up and tried to twist my hand. At the same time, I twisted his, turned it around real fast. And he was saying, "You're hurting me, you're hurting me." And I said, "I don't care. I don't care what happens to you. You have no right to hurt an elderly person."
I didn't expect that little lady would be that brave. I was trembling. I grabbed her by the leg. I said, "Oh, Miss Kitty, be careful, you're gonna kill us." She said, "Not tonight."
We do not recommend you just jumping in. We recommend that you dial 911 for emergency assistance, which in this case, she did that and she also jumped in. What she told me is her training kicked in and it was like a muscle memory. She knew she had to, help her friend out.
We're taking a live look now at our Agua Caliente Casino cam in downtown Palm Springs. Wow, really busy down there tonight. When we come back, Jerry's got a look at your forecast. That's in 90 seconds. Taking a live look from our Walter Clark Highway 111 cam in Rancho Mirage, and Beautiful night out there tonight. We're going to send things over to NBC Palm Springs meteorologist Jerry Steffen. He has a look at our forecast as we head to the new work week.
Well, the heats just keep on coming. 139. That's how many days we had in Palm Springs of triple-digit temperatures, smashing the old record of 135 set back in the 50s. And yeah, we're going to add a few more to that total. Overnight lows very comfortable this evening. We'll see low to middle 70s for the Coachella Valley tonight through tomorrow morning. 70 degrees, the overnight low at 29 Palms, even a 58 at Banning. 39 for Big Bear tonight. Clear skies on satellite and radar imagery from earlier today. Not a whole lot going on. Ridge of high pressure still in the neighborhood, ensuring those numbers will be well above average. Tomorrow, another hot one. Monday, mostly sunny, 105 to 108. Basically a very dry day for us. We'll see upper 20s, low 30s by the middle of the afternoon for dew points, and relative humidity again in the single digits. A very dry day. Triple digits beginning at 11 o'clock and eventually peaking with those numbers at 4 in the afternoon under mostly sunny skies. A little sample of Monday's highs, 107s, 108s for the valley, 100 degrees at 29 Palms tomorrow, 98 degrees at Cabazon, 94 at Banning. And then we shave off a couple degrees, but still about 10 above average, 104s, 105s Tuesday afternoon. Now, tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Then we get a little bit of moisture above 20,000 feet. So some high cirrus clouds on Tuesday afternoon, bringing us some filtered sunshine. That'll clear out a little bit on Wednesday. And then some clouds move in as we move into the weekend. More on the weekend coming up. As far as surface moisture, single-digit relative humidity again tomorrow. But we'll see those numbers creep up just a little bit, getting to around 20 degree, basically 40 degree dew points and 20% relative humidity. That'll be Thursday, and a little bit higher as we head into the weekend. Marie, our latest named storm, been tracking that over the past couple of days. It was once a major Category 4 hurricane. This is the system right here. Now, we're watching it because it could bring some rain to California. I'll explain. Watch this system right here, Marie. It begins to weaken and fall apart, but there's a lot of moisture with this system. An approaching frontal boundary will first steer it to the north and eventually guide it toward the coastline. And then Friday into Saturday, we'll see some much-needed rain in California. What does it mean for us? In Southern California, yeah, most of it to the north and to the west of us. Basically, a frontal boundary will chisel away some temperatures, too. So we're looking at temperatures in the low 90s for many of us in the Coachella Valley. Again, that's about a week away. No rain for us Saturday. We stay dry, but yeah, there's a chance, according to one computer model, that we could see some showers to the west of us, especially along the coast. Okay, temperatures on Saturday, that's a week away. Upper 80s, low 90s for the Coachella Valley. Finally, some fall weather. Here's your Comfort Air 70 forecast. 108 tomorrow, 105 on Tuesday. Wednesday, expect high clouds, 102. Then we see some double digits begin to move into the valley Friday. Coolest day with a chance of rain to our north and west Saturday with a high of 91.
NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game. It's time. Let's push play.
Good evening and welcome back. I'm Brandy Flores, welcoming you inside 360 Sports. Today we're going to get into today's top sports headlines. Starting off, the NFL is still dealing with positive COVID-19 tests. They had to postpone 2 games this week, the Titans and the Steelers, and the Patriots versus the Chiefs. The Titans had 18 players and personnel testing positive this week, including 6 straight days of positive tests. Their game with the Steelers has been pushed back to later this season and shifted around a couple other games and the bye weeks as well. The Patriots-Chiefs game has been postponed due to positive tests from both teams. For the Patriots, it was starting QB Cam Newton. For the Chiefs, it was practice squad's quarterback Jordan Ta'amu. That game will not take place tomorrow at 4 on CBS, creating a Monday Night Football doubleheader. A new format for the MLB playoffs this year. We saw 8 3-game series in the wild card round across both divisions. Those games are all finished, and the divisional round starts tomorrow. Here's a look at the matchups. In the American League, the number 1 seed Tampa Bay Rays will take on the Blue Jays, and the Oakland A's will play the Houston Astros. Those games will be played at Dodger Stadium and Petco Park, part of the MLB's attempt at a bubble. Here are the National League matchups playing at the Rangers and Astros parks in Texas. The Atlanta Braves are going to be taking on the Miami Marlins. And of course, the Southern California battle, the Dodgers will go up against the Padres. Walker Buehler will pitch the first game for the Dodgers, followed by Clayton Kershaw. The Padres are waiting on the status of ace Mike Clevinger, who they're hoping will be ready for Game 1. Now to some tennis on the clay court, as the French Open is at the midway point and the brackets are starting to thin out as we head to the finals next weekend. Today's action includes women's top seed Simona Halep and men's 2 seed Rafael Nadal. Top seed Simona Halep riding a career-best 17-match winning streak, taking on Iga Swiatek, who is trying to make a name for herself. Swiatek, the teenager from Poland, would do just that, pulling off the stunner in straight sets 6-1, 6-2 to reach her first Grand Slam quarterfinal. On the men's side, Rafael Nadal, the greatest clay court player of all time, taking on 20-year-old American Sebastian Corda. Nadal wins easily in straight sets to reach the quarterfinals at Roland Garros for the 14th time. Rafa is going for his 20th men's Grand Slam title, which would tie Roger Federer's all-time record. Game 2 earlier today of the WNBA Finals, Seattle took the opening game behind stellar efforts from Sue Bird and Breanna Stewart. Bird had a WNBA playoffs record, 16 assists, while Stewart poured in a career-high 37 points. It would be more of the same today, with the Storm taking the game to 104-91. Breanna Stewart led the way with 22 points and 5 assists. Game 3 will be Tuesday at 4 on ESPN. The Pac-12 Conference announced their upcoming schedule for the 2020 football season today. Beginning on November 7th, each team will play a 7-game season, which will include 2 rivalry games. Each team will play 5 divisional foes, with an additional cross-division game leading up to the championship. Be sure to mark your calendars for when UCLA and USC face off on December 12th. Baseball fans across the country are mourning the death of Bob Gibson. One of baseball's first power pitchers, the former St. Louis Cardinal star, was feared by opponents across the major leagues for over 2 decades. He passed away Friday night at the age of 84. He was fighting pancreatic cancer. He won 20 games or more in 5 straight seasons, including 7 of 9 World Series stars, 8 of those complete games, along with 9 Gold Gloves. He was also the first pitcher in nearly 50 years to finish his career with 3,000 strikeouts. Inducted to baseball's Hall of Fame in 1981, he went on to coach with the Mets and Braves before finishing with the Cardinals as an instructor. Rest in peace to a baseball legend. My heart goes out to his family and the lives he touched. And the Lakers did drop Game 3 of the finals today against the Miami Heat, looking to bounce back on Tuesday. Jimmy Butler went off, scoring 40 points. Really insane, not to mention Tyler Hero. Did anybody else see that smirk that he threw at the end? We'll see. Lakers in 5? For me, that's now from 360 Sports.
A new poll says Joe Biden's national lead over President Trump increased after Tuesday's presidential debate. But the poll was conducted before the president's COVID diagnosis. The survey shows Biden is ahead of Trump by 14 points among registered voters. That's up from an 8-point lead before the debate.
The governor of Texas is cutting down the number of absentee ballot drop-off locations. Mail-in ballots delivered in person must be dropped off to a single location. All other drop-off locations in the state's counties will be shut down. Governor Abbott says the order is to, quote, ensure security of the ballots. This will mostly impact the state's heavily populated metropolitan areas. Harris County, for example, where Houston is located, previously had 11 drop-off locations. Now they'll have just one.
In a year that has already been filled with so much crisis, uncertainty, it is active voter suppression.
The order also requires clerks to let poll watchers observe the deliveries of ballots at drop-off locations. Live look now, once again, at our Agua Caliente Casino cam. Things are calm there down by the pool, but you certainly could swim. It's a warm enough night. Let's check in with Jerry Steffen for the latest.
Well, the hottest summer ever for the Coachella Valley continues. Saturday, 108. Same range of temps today. And it looks like tomorrow we'll see again well above average numbers. High pressure still in control of our forecast, 105 to 108. Mostly sunny skies. We'll get an afternoon breeze that'll move onshore. Still relatively dry for us, too. We'll see single-digit relative humidity, upper 20s, low 30s for the dew points by the middle of the afternoon. And triple digits will kick into gear at around 11 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And mostly sunny skies to go with those numbers, which peak at around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. A little sample of what we can expect on Monday. 108 for Palm Springs, Palm Desert, 107 Indio, a sunny 107 at Thousand Palms, 29 Palms, 100 tomorrow, and below 100 degrees at Cabazon, 94 degrees at Banning. Even Big Bear looks like a nice day with lots of sunshine and 76 degrees. Comfort Air 3-day forecast. Temperatures well above average tomorrow, 108 for Palm Springs, mostly sunny skies, high clouds Tuesday, but numbers begin to back off a little bit. Looks a little promising when you get to Wednesday, mostly sunny, 102, full forecast and 7-day this half hour.
All right, thank you, Jerry. We'll be back in 90 seconds with lots more.
Well, Amazon now says more than 19,000 frontline workers have had COVID-19. This comes after months of pressure from labor groups and politicians to release the data. 19,000 is about 1.5% of Amazon's total workforce. Early in the pandemic, workers were worried Amazon wasn't doing enough to keep them healthy.
Speculation is growing the coronavirus pandemic may be a proverbial nail in the coffin for Black Friday. Now, in recent years, Black Friday's importance has faded anyway, thanks to online shopping, but Americans are now more likely to stay home and snag deals online rather than camping out in front of your local retailer.
Car sales are showing signs of life. Automakers saw a significant rebound in demand from the second quarter to the next. While companies are less likely to buy vehicles for business, some Americans are buying a car for the first time, finding it safer to drive than take public transportation. Temporary shutdowns of auto plants also limited inventories.
All right, when we come back, there's new research about just how long the immunity of COVID-19 antibodies lasts in patients that have already gotten the virus. That's coming up.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
New research suggests COVID-19 antibodies in donated plasma start to disappear after 3 months. There's still a lot of uncertainty about whether convalescent plasma can actually help treat the disease in other people. Researchers found antibodies began to decrease around 88 days after the first symptoms. Experts say people who wish to donate plasma should not wait too long once they become eligible to do so.
Dentists say they're seeing more patients with cracked teeth, and again, the pandemic is to blame. They see people have more anxiety and stress from the general state of our country right now, and so Americans are clenching and grinding their teeth. If you're experiencing mouth pain, they say see a dentist.
A new study shows coronavirus has become a literal nightmare for many of us. Researchers in Finland used artificial intelligence to analyze the dreams of 800 people. More than half of them reported dreams that were pandemic specific. The dreams consisted of themes like failures in social distancing, PPE, or having to go back to your car for your mask. More than a quarter of those participants also reported more frequent nightmares involving going back to your car for your mask. Let's go back though. Coming up next, Jerry's in with a look at the forecast. We're back after the break.
NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game. It's time. Let's push play.
Good evening and welcome back inside 360 Sports. I'm Brandy Flores. So earlier this week, the NFL Players Association made a statement, nor demand actually, to the NFL to ban the use of artificial turf in all the stadiums due to the staggering amount of injuries. Now, I was able to speak with Danielle Scardino of West Coast Turf here in the Coachella Valley to explore why the players would be demanding something like this. Players Association released a statement to the NFL calling for all artificial turf to be removed from stadiums due to growing concerns of player safety. Since the beginning of the season, there have been up to 10 players who suffered injuries after playing on artificial turf. 2 of these players have experienced season-ending injuries. According to Danielle Scardino of West Coast Turf, there could be a correlation between these injuries and artificial turf.
Historically, natural turf, obviously, it has more give than artificial turf does. So artificial turf is harder. That's all the lower extremity injuries. Those fields are, right now, they're just getting the plastic content is just getting harder and harder and harder. And these fields are evaluated before every game for safety. And even the field in New York passed and they didn't find a problem with it. But yet still, all these problems happened.
The NFL stadiums across the U.S. all experience different climates, and for some cities, it poses a challenge to keep a grassy field. So is it even possible for all stadiums to have a grass field?
The technology is out there. There's no reason to have an unsafe field. Absolutely no reason. Even in the cold weather areas, they have technology and heating systems that there's really no reason anymore to have artificial turf.
Newer stadiums, such as MetLife in New York and SoFi in Los Angeles, have opted for artificial turf to preserve the longevity of the field. Artificial turf is also much more expensive, but it's easier than maintaining a grass field. From a business perspective, why is artificial turf still not a good move?
Because artificial turf became a thing, we were approached several times to sell it. And we just couldn't. I mean, we could have made we could have gone for the dollar and we just couldn't. It was just not what we believe in. And we believe in safety. All these players deserve a safe work environment. And putting natural grass, if that's the answer to giving them a safe work environment, then let's do it.
Let's just say that the NFL moves forward with making every stadium put in a grass field. How soon would the turf industry be able to make that happen?
With all of the slab farms across the country, now it could probably happen. If we all pulled it together and got it done, it could probably happen pretty quick. In an ideal world, next season should be easy.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if the NFL will side with what the Players Association wants or not. We'll be back here at 360 Sports. Stick with us.
Live look now, courtesy of our Walter Clark camera. Sarah, did you have any thoughts on this beautiful shot?
Yeah, that it was supposed to be my read.
Yes, that's exactly why I asked.
The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Gino
starts talking.
It's okay. It's been a long weekend. We're going to send things over to NBC Palm Springs meteorologist Jerry Stephanie. He's in for Mike Everett with a look at our forecast. Jerry.
Well, temperatures haven't changed much over the past week. Again, Sunday, 108 for a high in Palm Springs. Today, we had the same range of temps, and looks like we're going to be up there again on Monday. 105 to 108, the ridge of high pressure bringing us the hot weather over the past couple of days. Still in control of our forecast, although it will begin weakening. Onshore flow will kick in the afternoon, and then morning and evening breezes coming out of the north. Now, as far as dew points, upper 20s, low 30s, and a very dry day again. We'll see upper single digits for the Coachella Valley as far as relative humidity. It'll be a quick warm-up again, triple digits in the valley beginning at 11 o'clock and eventually peaking with those numbers at around 4. Here's a sample of what we can expect Monday. Mostly sunny with these numbers, 94 degrees at Banning, 98 Cabazon, a hot 108 Palm Springs, 107 Indio, 100 degrees at 29 Palms, Joshua Tree in the middle 90s. Comfort Air, 3-day forecast, 108 Monday, lots of sunshine, high clouds move in Tuesday, filtered sunshine 105, and the numbers continue to back off. Wednesday, mostly sunny 102. What about the rest of the week? We'll check that out. Even a chance of rain for California. I'll explain. Full forecast in minutes.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, Jerry. The fate of movie theaters could hang in the balance. Another blockbuster cancels its 2020 premiere, and a massive theater chain announces a possible new round of theater closures. All things movie-related. When we come back.
Well, the heats just keep on a-coming. 139, that's how many days we had in Palm Springs of triple-digit temperatures, smashing the old record of 135 set back in the 50s. And yeah, we're going to add a few more to that total. Overnight lows very comfortable this evening. We'll see low to middle 70s for the Coachella Valley tonight through tomorrow morning. 70 degrees, the overnight low at 29 Palms, even a 58 at Banning. 39 for Big Bear tonight. Clear skies on satellite and radar imagery from earlier today. Not a whole lot going on. Ridge of high pressure still in the neighborhood, ensuring those numbers will be well above average. Tomorrow, another hot one. Monday, mostly sunny, 105 to 108. Basically a very dry day for us. We'll see upper 20s, low 30s by the middle of the afternoon for dew points, and relative humidity again in the single digits. A very dry day. Triple digits beginning at 11 o'clock and eventually peaking with those numbers at 4 in the afternoon under mostly sunny skies. A little sample of Monday's highs, 107s, 108s for the valley, 100 degrees at 29 Palms tomorrow, 98 degrees at Cabazon, 94 at Banning. And then we shave off a couple degrees, but still about 10 above average, 104s, 105s Tuesday afternoon. Now, tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Then we get a little bit of moisture above 20,000 feet. So some high cirrus clouds on Tuesday afternoon, bringing us some filtered sunshine. That'll clear out a little bit on Wednesday. And then some clouds move in as we move into the weekend. More on the weekend coming up. As far as surface moisture, Single-digit relative humidity again tomorrow, but we'll see those numbers creep up just a little bit, getting to around 20-degree, basically 40-degree dew points and 20% relative humidity. That'll be Thursday, and a little bit higher as we head into the weekend. Marie, our latest named storm, been tracking that over the past couple of days. It was once a major Category 4 hurricane. This is the system right here. Now, we're watching it because it could bring some rain to California. I'll explain. Watch this system right here, Marie. It begins to weaken and fall apart, but there's a lot of moisture with this system. An approaching frontal boundary will first steer it to the north and eventually guide it toward the coastline. And then Friday into Saturday, we'll see some much-needed rain in California. What does it mean for us? In Southern California, yeah, most of it to the north and to the west of us. Basically, a frontal boundary will chisel away some temperatures, too. So we're looking at temperatures in the low 90s for many of us in the Coachella Valley. Again, that's about a week away. No rain for us Saturday. We stay dry, but yeah, there's a chance, according to one computer model, that we could see some showers to the west of us, especially along the coast. Okay, temperatures on Saturday, that's a week away. Upper 80s, low 90s for the Coachella Valley. Finally, some fall weather. Here's your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. 108 tomorrow, 105 on Tuesday. Wednesday, expect high clouds, 102. Then we see some double digits begin to move into the valley Friday. Coolest day with a chance of rain to our north and west Saturday with a high of 91.
In tonight's Showbiz Report, Regal Cinemas could be temporarily shutting down theaters across the U.S. this week. Movie theaters in Riverside County just reopened a couple of weeks ago, and there are 4 Regal theaters here in the valley. Last month, the company reported a loss of more than $1.5 billion for the first half of 2020, with revenue tanking 67%. So theaters and restaurants in some serious trouble. We've got more. Stick around.
NBC Palm Springs Sports Desk, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos. We have your game. It's time. Let's push play.
Welcome back. Brandy Flores here, still at 360 Sports. And as NFL teams are seeing their fans trickle back into stadiums, other sports teams across the country are trying to figure out how to safely put their supporters back in their home stands. CNBC's Eric Chummy has the latest to see what your sporting event could look like during the time of COVID-19.
Coronavirus has forced many sports teams to rethink the way they do business when it comes time for fans to return. One of the major themes includes utilizing outdoor spaces for tailgate and watch parties as a way to bring people together in a safe, socially distant manner. The Milwaukee Bucks are working with architectural design firm Populous to create a space that uses the arena's parking garage along with modular shipping containers to create a whole new experience for fans. The Miami Dolphins recently unveiled their own outdoor tailgate, complete with beanbag chairs and cabana suites. At the brand new Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, the Raiders are hoping to recoup some of their lost revenue by selling parking spots along with a food and beverage package to their fans. It's all part of the new normal as teams look to bring back fans safely, or at least make some money somehow, even if those fans can't enter the arena.
There's been a trend in stadium design that started a few years ago. We're starting to see, let's say, if you take the stadium, a few years ago, 20 years ago, there was maybe 3 to 8 different experiences you could have. You could have a suite, you could have an upper deck seat, you could have some kind of club seat. Today, we're talking about 40 to 60 different experiences within the venue. And I think what this shift in culture, the shift from pandemic has emphasized is that people are going to want to still go, but they're going to want high value for their experiences.
Another trend, touchless everything. Gone are the days of the paper ticket.
So people still like to have their hard ticket and hand it to the ticket taker. Well, this year, because of the safety factor of being able to enter the venue on a contactless basis and just being able to come within range of the scanner, we have over 70 clients using that technology this year. I've never seen that kind of acceleration of adoption of technology. The pandemic has definitely impacted that.
Dameron says her company has over 70 clients implementing that technology this year.
Well, it's going to be super exciting for sports fans across the country if this does become the new normal. It's just honestly super exciting to even be at a sporting event, but you can't high-five strangers, which takes out the experience, right? Well, that's it from here from 360 Sports. Thank you so much for joining me with NBC Palm Springs Sports. I'm Brandy Flores.
During the pandemic, we've had a core group of essential workers providing much of our needed services. Day in and day out, our essential worker of the week this week is Christina Pineda. She spends her days working as a cashier in Desert Hot Springs. We surprised her on Friday morning.
Rancho Grande in Desert Hot Spring, about to surprise Christina Pineda. She has no idea we're here. Let's go. We're looking for Christina Pineda. You are our essential worker of the week. I'm Thalia Hayden with NBC Palm Springs. You are getting $1,000 from Toyota and Honda of the Desert because everybody here thinks you do such wonderful work. You are pregnant, you're expecting a baby, and you've been working through the whole pandemic.
Yes, thank you.
You're so welcome. Here, let's check in with Gil.
We appreciate everything you do, the fact that you're here on the front line, essential employee. This is well deserved. Please go out and spend this money on yourself.
We just heard amazing things about you, and all your employees just appreciate your work, and so it's just incredible to be here and reward you with this. So have some fun with the money.
Are you in shock?
Yes, surprise. I didn't expect it, but thank you.
So when is the baby expected?
The first week of December.
Has it been hard working through a pregnancy?
Yes. It's always like worrying about like if something happens, but I have to.
So Christy is one of the best employees right here. Well, we have a lot more right here, but like you see it, she always working right here, very happy, helping the customers, even his co-workers, and doing his job pretty good all the time. Okay, so I'm happy that she gets it.
Thank you.
So congratulations, Christina. We're back after the break.
NASA's asking for help discovering new planets. A website called Planet Patrol allows people to collaborate with astronomers to hunt for new worlds. Members of the public will be sorting through images collected by NASA satellites. So get your eagle eyes out and look for some planets. That wraps it up for us tonight. Remember, we're always online at NBCPalmSprings.com. We'll see you at 11.
I just use my covers to stay